play a little game of If You Only Knew.
Okay.
And you don't have to answer them. What is your secret talent?
I can turn my tongue upside down. Shall I demonstrate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Now it's no longer a secret.
How did you know you could do that?
That's a good question.
Did you do
More importantly, when did I discover that other people couldn't do that? I thought that was just a normal thing.
No. No other people can do it. Who's a person you would trade places with for a day?
Probably a baby.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Don't sweat the small.
What's a luxury you can't live without?
I totally have an answer for this. Heated seats in a car.
You like heated seats in a car, except if you turn it on by accident in a hot summer day.
And then you start wondering if something's happening to you physically.
Yeah, and you're catching on fire, yes. What do people get wrong about you?
That I have an IQ that's anywhere near the character I was most known for playing.
Who's someone from history you'd like to take to lunch?
Frida Kahlo.
Strangest job you've ever had?
I haven't had that many jobs that aren't entertainment related. I had some internships when I was a student at UCLA as an adult, but I wouldn't find them, they weren't weird.
Guilty pleasure?
You really want to know? I am fascinated with before and after pictures, surgery before and after pictures, or skin disease photos of, if somebody has like a before and after of somebody who's had like an enormous 25-pound tumor removed, things like that.
You're weird. Okay, you write about a few in your book, but what's the weirdest fan encounter you ever had?
Like weirdest, not dangerous fan encounter I ever had? There's
dangerous?
Oh yeah, well, it's in the book. You have to buy the book to read about it. I'm not going to give it away. So I wouldn't call this weird as much as very unique. There's a woman, and I don't know her name. I think if I Googled it, I could find her name. Very nice woman who I've seen at a couple of events. And she has tattoos on her arm, on both arms of people's autographs. And so she held out her arm at one of the events I was at and asked me to sign it. And I said, oh, okay, and I signed it. And then the next event I saw her at, she had it tattooed. So my signatures, and she's very sweet, and that's just her thing. She has people's autographs tattooed on her arms. That's her.
She could become famous.
Well, if I remembered her name, I could have helped that.
Is there something you believe to be true and realize wasn't?
I'm going to answer that with something a physicist, and I can't remember his name. There was a part of a book that was asking, what do you believe to be true but cannot what do you believe is not true but cannot prove? And he said, or I'm mixing up that question, but he says, I believe but cannot prove that time does not exist. That time is something we just use to organize our reality. And I think I like that a lot.
That's probably true. You can't prove it.
You can't prove that time exists.
It's like faith, right? You can't prove.
You can't prove, but here on both those counts, if you do pretend that time exists, do things feel more organized? Do you like the result of it? And you go, yes, then fine, then believe it. Same thing with faith. If somebody has faith and it makes their life better, then great. Do you have to prove whether or not it's real? No, it's just like an experiment, If you like the result, do it.
Tell me something people don't know about you.
I can't tell you.
You're a little too smart for this program. Never miss a beat. Subscribe to Larry King now and watch new episodes every day.